All right, we're good. Wait. Yep, we're good.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to episode one, R2F Daily News Updates for February 6th. First thing up, Trump defends Gaza proposal, says territory would be turned over to the U.S. by Israel. So if the Muslims understand this, that they're saying that Gaza will be turned over to the U.S. by Israel, as if Israel is the owners or controllers. And to be real, they are. They do control it. One thing that the Muslims have to understand is that this world is a place that the strong and the people with the power and the influence, they usually control land and property and things like that. So the Muslims are going to complain about the atrocities in Gaza and in other places, but the reality is the Muslims are not strong enough. The people in Gaza are not strong enough, and the Muslims in general are not strong enough to hold the property that they own. And so when people who are stronger, want what you have, they usually take it unless or until you are strong enough to take it back. Or they fear either you or the allies that you have. And so I think the allies around the world, even in the Muslim world, they're allied more with Israel than they are Gaza, and that's why their property is being turned over. But Allah knows best.
Absolutely. Just real quickly, to my brother Bart's point about when the Muslims were strong, they controlled these lands. After the First Crusades, it wasn't until Salah that we became and liberated Jerusalem from the Crusader states. So Muslims have to be strong, and when they're strong, they control those lands. So whoever is the strongest at the time will control the Holy Land of Jerusalem. All right. So if the Jews are the strongest now, they control it. Before it was Christians, before it was Muslims. So that's how it works.
And for anybody that's disillusioned by thinking that supporting any political entity in the United States, thinking that they're going to be for or better candidates they're all working for the same person. It's all the same source, So just wake up to that reality for all those people out there that were Muslims that were getting on stages and supporting Donald Trump and saying he's going to be our president and he's going to help us in Gaza. Well, he's trying to turn it into a resort. So
yeah.
Exactly. I mean, and if you look at, we saw some of the Muslims saying we're voting for Trump, we're supporting Trump because he's about peace. He's, he's on the Muslim side. He's their friend. And if you look, as the headline says, that Trump says U.S. will take over Gaza, develop it, and the Palestinians should do what? Leave.
Yep.
It's a cautionary tale. As the law says, that they are allies of each other and that you shouldn't take them as allies. And as you can see, as soon as Trump got in office, well, he showed you who his allies were. But if we were following what Allah said, we would have known this in advance.
Yeah. Yep.
And last story that we'll cover for today, Google removes a pledge not to use AI for weapons and surveillance. And so basically Google has removed a pledge to abstain from using AI for potentially harmful applications such as weapons and surveillance, according to the company's AI principles. So basically, artificial intelligence, right? Where there was an agreement that it would not be weaponized, right? They wouldn't weaponize it. And we know we have robots and drones now that fly. They're talking about them delivering packages. They're talking about robots. They have the friendly robots that the kiosk or whatever, little robots on wheels in the mall that tell you where to go and answer your questions. Well, imagine any of these robots having a gun or a knife or an explosive. I mean, this is it may seem far off, but this is something that could potentially happen, and I think that in the near future it will happen. And there are accounts from Rasulullah that talks about how there will be wars in times, and I think some of this plays into what potentially may happen. I just want the Muslims everywhere and the people just in general, even if you're not Muslim, to understand that this this is more of a threat than you would think. Some of these utopian movies and things that you may see that you think, well, that's only in the movies. It's going to be reality, pretty soon, and this is what it looks like to me.
Absolutely. And for people who think that AI is going somewhere, Siri came out in 2011. So Siri was basically like the first popular AI. So Siri is that's 14 years ago. Since Siri's been here. So AI is going to stay here for a long time. We have personalized ads. We have algorithms that are all catered toward you. So if they want to find you, trust and believe, they know exactly who you are. You're not gonna hide. You have a phone, they know where you are.
And like Mubarak said, the whole idea of this we watch these movies and we think it's science fiction. Most times it's science fact. It's just that it's not out for the general public yet, right? We all know the Terminator movies about Skynet, and then I'm not saying robots are going to take over the world, but it's gives a thing that you may be getting arrested or fighting against a non-human being, and I think it was that remember that movie with Will Smith where like they were just tracking his every movement through all these different things. I think didn't that come out in like
Enemy to State, yeah,
that was like in the 90s or something like that. So just be aware and don't put your guard down and just pay attention to these things. Like they removed their pledge. That's just like, what did the pledge mean anyway in the first place? Like wake up.
Yeah. So I think that's the stories that we had for today. Just to recap, make sure that you understand that the Muslims are only as strong as they themselves and their allies are. And if the Muslims are not able to hold their property in their lands, and we need to look inward and realize that we're not that strong, and we need to identify those things to become stronger. And secondly, we have to realize that Allah has told us, who our allies are and who are allies of each other, and whether you vote for one politician or another, it's always going to result in the same thing because they have the same agenda. And with the AI and all these things, I know it's attractive to have the ease of use of AI and artificial intelligence and the Chat GPT and all these things that write your papers for you, whatever. Soon maybe people might not even be able to to read or write for that matter that much. And I would say the way that you combat it is for yourself, for your children, or whoever, make sure that you can make sure that you can do math. Make sure that you are capable. The best creation on the face of the earth is the human being created by Allah, and so don't let that get lost on you and get lost in this AI, because the people who become so dependent on it, trusting of it, they may fall victim to it. So may Allah protect us all. I mean. Before we close, just to note some of the merchandise. Return to Fitra is the channel and the group that we're doing. We're doing a lot of work in trying to help people to return to the Fitra in which we were born upon, and to be Muslims, and to be upon Tawheed, and to leave shirk and innovation in those things. So if you want to support us in the work that we're trying to do, and some of the things that we're doing going forward and doing, you can check out the stuff on our shop. We're going to have some more stuff up there, but this is an easy way for you to support and help the Ummah at large, because that's what we're trying to do. May Allah make it easy for us. Ameen. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam. Good job.
All right.
So how long was that?
Like 7 minutes and 44 seconds, I think so.
7 minutes with the commercial? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.